conquest, but the island ain't weak, not less. She hot tanks roaring loud and clear, zombie hula girls, no fear. Tiki terrors rise, eyes ablaze, Soviets drown in the island haze. Island don't surf, island don't win, Tiki terrors won't let them in. She hot tanks make the ground shake, zombie hula girls' hearts won't break. Under moonlight chants they clash, steel meets flame, bones will thrash. Cold war's heat, the island's grip, Tiki rage will never slip. Drums beat, wild waves take hold, Soviet shiver, hearts turn cold. In the depths of night they fail, Tiki terror's ancient tale. Island don't surf, island don't win, Tiki terrors won't let them in. She hot tanks make the ground shake, zombie hula girls' hearts won't break. Hearts won't break.
Howdy, howdy, it's your old pal, Tiki the Hut. Thanks for joining me again on another Too Late Tonight with Tiki, and holy cow, am I too late. The chat is already popping off, man, you guys are quick. I'm over here still trying to like rearrange things on the back end, put in a poll, do all sorts of other kind of stuff, and you guys are already going off in the chat. That is awesome. I appreciate it. That is super cool and super welcoming to see. Well, let me just catch up. Francois with the bonsai already. RK, hey, what's going on, RK? Oh man. Hey, Grimton 10, we got Rabbit, we got all the usual suspects. What's going on, guys? I'm glad the song's been stuck in your head, Grimton 10. That's awesome. So as you can tell, I primed some of our trucks. So we'll be painting some trucks, priming some of our other transit vehicles. Well, I appreciate it, man. I'm glad you're waking up to some Tiki time, Munir. Evolution, what's going on, man? How far? Yeah. So ironic with the MPs. Oh yeah, I don't know if you saw these, RK, but check it out. I have. RK was the one who showed me these. Pretty cool. These are these little objective markers. So for my MPs, I got stop signs. I do like working on my orcs. I'm not gonna lie. I've been, you know, priming these trucks, but like staring at my orcs longingly. So I'm throwing around the idea of maybe possibly doing a Mad Max style Monday stream every now and then, you know, randomly, where I work on Fallout Wasteland Warfare or Fallout Faction stuff. Working on Gaslands. I can show off a lot of my Gaslands cars, which, to be fair, I love the game, but Mrs. Tiki beats my ass every time we play. I hate teaching her games because she just gets better than me at it. And, you know, also working on my orcs as well. These are absolutely these are the Temu Technicals. These are absolutely Temu trucks. I got 12 of them, I think, for like maybe 20 bucks. I forgot what I paid for, but it was a good value. I gave a bunch away to some buddies like RK, Trooper, and Irish. And then I kept 6 for myself. Oh, hey, thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, let me fix that. There you go. Yeah, it does that sometimes. Yeah, so that little input you saw, that's just my, it's like the VTuber software. So, every now and then when I adjust it, because I can make them have questions. Let's see, I can make them be mad. I can make them look side to side. I can put it back to normal. So all the other emotes are basically in case I ever get to do a stream. No, so what I'm thinking about doing is I'm thinking about doing a, oh yeah, cause I see what you're saying, because technically it's Monday. Oh, that's a good point. I'll have to rename it. I don't know. I'll look at it. So I may do a different type of time period. I may end up doing, you know, right at the end of Morning Glory stream, kind of going to midnight maybe. I'm not sure. I forgot about that, yeah. Wait, no, hold on. Today is... Now you got me confused. No, today is Sunday, so... Yeah, the Monday stream would be the next day coming up. Man, you had me confused, Rabbit. But yeah, so the Mad Max, I know, it kind of looks like it with all these vehicles, but the Mad Max will be post-apocalyptic stuff. I'll still stream it on this YouTube account. That way you guys don't have to worry about all the alternate account or anything like that. And then basically I'll put the recordings of those videos on the Tiki 2 Atomic Boogaloo. All right. Hey, what's going on, Evan? You taking a break from all your schedule? What's the game called? Schedule One, or I think that's the term. Schedule One. Hey, old man Nixon, what's going on? No, I'm not going to Recon. Recon looks fun. It just looks a little bit more of the competitive scene, and I usually don't go to competitive stuff unless they ask me to, you know, show up and help out or something like that, or fill in a last minute spot as like a punching bag. So my springs and summers are taken up because I help teach a college class involving underwater drones. So it's kind of my busy time. But I am going to the Fall of Berlin game at Browncoats, and I will be doing my Clash of the Caribbean. The other thing, as you guys see on screen, we someone bought a sticker the other day, so we're up to $24 in the Clash of the Caribbean purse. So that's gonna go towards. I already have most of the prize support, so I may get some more prize support, I guess. And after that, we'll start the account over again and save up for the next year's Clash of the Caribbean. I'll be putting out a post with all the more information about Clash of the Caribbean now that I've kind of ironed it out. It's October 15th through 17th, sailing on the Margaritaville Sea at Paradise. Going from Palm Beach to the Bahamas, Nassau. So the date's already certified. Already got my room. I've already talked with the customer service about what we can and can't do, so we're good there. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm probably gonna end up doing a website and to kind of hold all the information. That way you guys will have a go-to. The biggest thing is I just don't want to do a Discord. The reason why I don't want to do a Discord until we're actually on the cruise is Discords can be weird if you don't have someone to moderate it, So that's why I kind of avoid having a Discord of my own. Because I'm already wearing a lot of hats. I don't have time to moderate a Discord. That has a tie to my name and some stuff like that. So that's why I just hang out on other people's. But if you are in Florida, if you happen to be one of the Florida Bolt Action crew, definitely look at the Fall of Berlin game. I think it's May 19th at Browncoats. It's advertised on Facebook right now. So if you're not already signed up, I definitely recommend taking a look at it. All right, let's get started painting. I think I'm gonna do probably the cabs first, but I gotta like trim some of the excess plastic from these Timu trucks. Yeah, you better stay on your side of Berlin there, USSR. You come near my MPs, we're gonna mess you up. But how's everybody doing tonight? Everybody working? Everybody got some good hobbies going? I know we've had people work on everything from Thousand Suns to Soviets. What's everybody working on? Matthew showed me his Imperial Japanese Conflict 47. I think his heavy infantry actually better than mine. Well, old man Nixon, you know, feel free to enjoy the stream. You can get a leak of kind of what's expecting of you. I don't mind, you know. I'm going to be representing the 83rd Infantry Division's Organic Military Police Platoon. So as you can tell, a lot of transports. So it's a fun game, not a competitive game. So I don't mind people seeing my list ahead of time. I don't know whether to call you Ivan or Boris. I can't. I think Ivan's too played out. I like Boris. Ooh, Soviets for Conflict 47. Honestly, as much as I love my Imperial Japanese for bolt action and Conflict 47, I still gotta say the Soviet box is the best value. I gotta say, it's probably one of the better. Okay, it's a start collecting, not really a starter box because it doesn't have two forces, you know? To me, in my opinion, and obviously I'm biased because it's what got me started in tabletop wargaming, the old school Battlefleet Gothic starter kit that came with like Imperial Navy destroyers and Chaos destroyers, that was the best starter box I've ever seen in any game so far. There's something that came close, but that's a good one. Like I said, the Gentleman's War for bolt action was damn good. Nice, RK, I'm glad. Yeah, I got all my models built. I think you guys saw me build all those. And now I just gotta get them all painted. So I'm getting the vehicles first, then going back and doing the troops. Let me get the vehicles in the spray box. Nice, yeah. If you guys need a, not that I'm super not like the most knowledgeable guy, I'm a nobody. But if y'all need an extra help at recon, like a TO or just to help out, let me know. I'll see if I have room in my schedule and I'll pop down and hang out and help out where I can. Why would you call me a mockingbird? How dare you mock me? Everything is a ruse. I've been inside the whole time. It's an inception. Getting him helping a new guy, but giving him the M15. Ooh, that's gonna be interesting. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like bolt action, with the exception of Gaslands, I feel like bolt action is probably one of the easier games to get someone into. I think it's because of the turn order. Old school Infinity used to not be bad, you know, because it was basically just like XCOM on the tabletop. But now it's still good from what I hear, but it seems like it's gotten a little bit more complex. Bolt action just plays really well, and it plays, I guess, understandably. Like nothing is hard to nothing is hard to imagine. I'm not gonna say hard to understand because that sounds kind of shitty, because some people may struggle. But nothing is incredulous. There we go. To use one of them SAT words. Like, everything kind of makes sense. Like, okay, a mortar has to range in. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, a sniper doesn't worry about cover. Okay, yeah, that makes sense, you know? There are a few rules for the new edition that I think are a little... could use some adjustment as far as house rules. I'm not a big fan of, like, the company changing stuff, you know? I mean, they can if they want, it's their IP, you know? But I think a lot of stuff can just be affected with home ruling. But, But overall, bolt action, it just seems very easy to kind of teach and get people kind of into. I know, you're like, well, you have green trucks, why are you not painting them green? For most things, particularly if it has like earth tones like green and brown, I like to just primer it with a Zendari Dust. I don't know, it's just one of my go-to primers. Oh man, Nixon. I know exactly what you mean. Like, I'll just buy everything. Yeah, that's how that goes. Some of the old metal models are gonna start getting starting to be hard to find. I still love Conflict 47. Like I said, I'm waiting. I loan out my Adobe Premiere account to students who are working on courses and projects, and I don't want to kick them off, you know. So once they're done, I'm gonna log back into my profile, and once that, I'll probably make some more Conflict 47 lore videos. But that's the only thing that worries me about this Conflict 47 release, is they haven't said anything about the lore. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. The VA says I'm paranoid. But that's what kind of worries me. Yeah, usually for me, RK, usually the primer is my paint. Especially that's how I burn through my Imperial Japanese so fast. I hit them with the primer that's in Dari Dust, then just like paint the helmets and the boots and all the other stuff, and I'm done. Tiki Files. I don't know how I feel about that term. Conflict 47, it can be approachable to get into, but to collect it gets expensive. Getting into it with the start collecting boxes is generally pretty cost effective, especially if you already play bolt action, because you get a lot of troops, and you also get the vanilla sprues for the tanks, so you can run Rift Tech weapons or, standard configuration. But when you start going after some of those harder to find Conflict 47 units, they can get expensive because they're only available in metal or resin. Experience 3D printer. But yeah, I hear good things about Recon, just like I hear good things about Huracan. Just usually if there's like a competitive event, I usually don't show. Nothing against it, it's just generally not my scene. But when I find out about like narrative games, like big chill social narrative events, like the Fall of Berlin, yeah, I sign up for that pretty quick. Yeah, I definitely won't dispute that 3D printing probably does save a lot. Hey, what's going on, CB Cooper? Yeah, sorry, I didn't see your message till just before I started the stream. My bad, man. My Discord's been acting up all day, so I just saw it. Yeah, I 100% believe that, Nixon. I believe that it will. Yeah, I'll move it. I'll move it in stream. I'm sometimes bad about that. Did you DM on my Discord my name? Yeah. I saw it to be Cooper. Like I said, I sorry I didn't see it till right before I started the stream. Like I said, I was working all day and my Discord was messing up. On the plus side, the story of the 83rd Infantry Division, the Ragtag Circus, is they captured any vehicle they could find and turned them into, converted military army vehicles. So they kind of slapdash green paint job is actually kind of lore accurate. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that historical. I meant historical in the fact that I can't show up with, like the Tiki Terrors, my Imperial Japanese unit, and run like my Mai Tai motor rifles. Running around with like 3 AA trucks and 2 gun trucks, and a whole bunch of veteran Japanese infantry running around Berlin. Just like I don't think you could bring U.S. Marines. I'm looking forward to the game, like I said, because I think it's gonna be played on technically 3 tables. Like I said, you got if you got questions, you can ask Nixon. Like I said, he's the German team captain. He's probably got all sorts of good info. Sorry, you'll probably hear cars in the background. I have my my windows and door open because I'm also using my spray primer. So if anyone sets the speed by, you'll hear it. No, but I probably will be enlisting the help of Mrs. Tiki to freehand some stars on these instead of using like a decal or like a pattern. I'd rather her kind of freehand it because that kind of lends more towards the credence of them just painting random ass trucks green and just throwing white stars on them. How do we best the Germans? You don't. Yes, the mostly playing these is like capture trucks. I'll probably do the bed, all like wood, and then just do the tires black. Windows blue. Simple, elegant, easily repeatable because I have 6 of them. Haven't decided yet if I want to do the grill gray or not. Probably not. Hey, what's going on, Nathan? Mr. 2000 subs, congratulations, buddy. I saw it coming. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Super happy for you. Well done, well deserved. Oh man, I wish I could bring my Japanese. I actually just finished a lot of my. I've been working on my IJN in the background too. So I have my two float tanks. Oh, you missed Nathan. I was talking about on the stream yesterday. After playing for a little while, I figured out what it is about Darktide that I like so much better than Space Marine 2. Other than the gameplay, because I'm more of a Left 4 Dead fan than like a, I don't know, like God to War style fan. The lore. And in Darktide, I feel like it's the same lore I grew up reading. You know, like I could go back and read some Gaunt's Ghost or some Eisenhorn, you know, or some stuff like that, and it's nothing's really changed, you know. And the weapons sound and feel like how they should, like in the lore. So, I think that's why I like Darktide so much. Is it doesn't mess with the lore that I like. Versus Space Marine 2, you know, I was excited to start as Death Watch, and I got forced to be a Primaris, and I was like, son of a bitch. That's so that's the thing. I get on in my busy schedule. I try and play video games where I can to decompress. So I play on Xbox. If you're part of Morning Glory's Discord, you'll see me in the Darktide. Sorry, I lost the name there for a second. You see me in the Darktide channel there a little bit. I'll give out my fat shark code and stuff like that. I'll play with some people. I mostly run a veteran, or I was talking about Nathan this. I found out it's like the only good, like 40k orc simulator. You know, first-person shooter as an orc. I'll just play an Ogren. But I just play him like an orc. It's actually a lot of fun. Yeah, sorry I missed your celebratory 2K stream. I saw you were playing Dawn of War Retribution. God, I love Dawn of War Retribution. I like the Dawn of War games, don't get me wrong, but because I like bolt action, you know, style so much, I really enjoy crunchy company level small unit tactics, you know, 4S, fine fix, flank finish. So Dawn of War 2 with the zoomed it with like the more company hero squad based style with small unit tactics, I like that a lot better than the RTS of Dawn of War, but Dawn of War is still good. Yeah, I don't recommend using Everclear in your limoncello. You should probably be using some type of grappa. That's a potent limoncello. But with Everclear, because Everclear won't freeze, you could use that limoncello RK and make a Scorpino. I'll see if I can find the recipe on how to make Scorpinos. Scorpinos are like, it's like a frozen cocktail, but it's like a frozen slushy of a limoncello, but a lot sweeter. So I'll see if I can find the recipe for you, buddy, and I'll shoot it to you. Um, I really like the mechanic of, I think Dawn of War 2 Chaos Rising had the best mechanic, because it carried on the stuff, and the coolest thing that I really liked was the artifact weapons and the war gear you got in Dawn of War 2, the first one, because they were all named after battles and cities and incidents from the earlier Dawn of War games. They did a really good job of keeping the lore going, you know? That was really cool. When you read like the stories of each weapon. And what I really liked is the corruption mechanic of Dawn of War 2 Chaos Rising. That was really cool. And it kind of reminds me of the a little bit of the gang system in Nuka World Fallout 4, where like the one you ignore the most or the one you use the least becomes like the traitor kind of thing, you know? Like, I think for me, I think it was either the librarian or yeah, I think it was the librarian or Thaddeus, I can't remember. It's actually been a long time since I played it. I should probably do a whole run of that again. Retribution was good. It was just, yeah, it's the same exact story, you know, with the different factions that I didn't like. Like, that could have been, I don't know, I would have liked a little bit different with it. Like, I understand, like, all the Imperium forces having the same one. You know, all the chaotic forces or interlopers having the same one, and all like the neutrals having the same one. But all of them, nah, it's a little bit much. But I'm surprised Last Stand hasn't been repackaged and sold like on the Xbox and PlayStation 5 as its own standalone game. Like, if you sold that for $10 and made each DLC like $2 or $5, they can make a shit ton of money for stuff that's already been written. I would play the hell out of some Last Stand, like updated on console. Oh yeah, better matchmaking. But I feel like GW, they won't go backwards and they won't make anything that's not Primaris, but it's alright. Just like it may be a spicy take, but I actually liked Company, speaking of more bolt action, I liked Company of Heroes 1 better than Company of Heroes 2 or 3. I think the first one was probably one of the better ones. I know. A lot of people adore the second Company of Heroes. I think it's mostly because you could play as the Soviets, and a lot of people wanted to. I'm just not a fan of like the winter aesthetic, I guess. As you can tell with the tropical setting and all this other kind of stuff, I think it's more of a personal thing. But it's interesting, Nathan. You say you may step away from Space Marine 2. I mean, I know it's been like your, you put a lot of work into that thing. You've been like the go-to guy for covering it as well. So that's surprising to hear. I guess you're just that excited to play some Bureau XCOM Declassified, which I totally understand. Really good storyline. So right now I'm trying to paint just one truck as like a, I always paint one fully all the way, all the different colors, as like a template to use against the other ones. So right now I'm just kind of finishing up the green on it. I think it looks a lot lighter than it is. It's a little bit darker than it looks. The one thing I really did like about Space Marine 2, I love the way that the missions, as far as the other part of your squad, were fully integrated into the campaign. That I think people talked about it, of course, but I think that deserves a lot of praise. That was good storytelling. That was really cool the way they did that. I super appreciated that. That's the kind of like planning out and skill of writing that I don't often see in modern video games. I really praise that. That was well done. And I think the set pieces were really, really good. You know, for most games that like to use procedurally generated or a bunch of other stuff, I think a lot of the spectacles, like the big ticket stuff, was really, really neat and really well done. Yeah, I get that bad rabbit. Everybody has regiments that they like. See, in my head, Ken, I think it'd be really cool to take like some of these homeless regiments, you know, take like the Cadians who are all homeless, and take like the a lot of the Black Templars, and then take all the first gen Space Marines, you know, because they're all trying to get replaced by Primaris, and have them all go on one last joint crusade, like one last charge into that good night, right into a like a Tyranid massive like invasion fleet, you know. That would be cool, and just call it like the final crusade or whatever. Have all the firstborn Marines, a whole bunch of like Black Templar, you know, they're all there supporting like the Death Watch. Like Death Watch commissioned its own crusade of all firstborn and all Acadians and stuff like that. That'd be really cool. It would kind of look like the Crusades, where you had a lot of the knights, but then you also had a lot of like the professional soldiers and mercenaries and stuff like that on the ground. That would be really neat to try and like slow down a big Tyranid high fleet. Because that way you're still able to replace your firstborn Marine model line that I know they want to. Well, this way, this way you write them out in a really cool way, not just like, yeah, their planet blew up, fuck them, you know. But it's like, oh yeah, watch them go out on like one last charge, you know. Oof. Yeah. Tanith would be tough to see. As you guys know, I'm a big Fantine fan. You know, I love my Air Corps, my Skyborn. So by nature, of course, I enjoy the ghosts. The one thing I was hoping they would add to Space Marine 2 that'd make it really cool and exciting was I was hoping they would add Gene Stealer Cult. That would be one of the coolest things. Like imagine, and they're not even telling you, like imagine it just be a surprise. And the coolest thing, I think the best way, the way they could bring, so if they're listening, you know, especially Nathan, I know you have their ear, feel free to parrot this if you want. But the way to bring people back to Space Marine 2 is put out a secret update. Don't tell anybody about it, but you put out an update requiring everybody to, you know, download the patch, put in some stupid stuff you're changing, no big deal. But what you do is you start putting in more and more Gene Stealer Cult. Like, and on their earlier difficulties, don't make them hostile, just make them fighting with the Imperial Guard. And just like kind of notice that maybe some of the tanks have like some of the GSC symbols on it, you know, like the worm and all that kind of stuff, the gears. Or like maybe some of the guardsmen look a little bit more purple than usual. Maybe they're a little bit more bald. And then on the hardest difficulty, you know, actually put in random ass GSC ambushes. You know, so sometimes we're used to coming out and there's a few guardsmen fighting off stuff. You'll come out and just get absolutely ambushed by a shit ton of Gene Stealer Cult. Throw in actual pure strain Gene Stealers. throw in guys with like web guns, you know, auto guns, mining lasers. Just like imagine an absolute, completely random ambushes left and right. Like even in some, the best thing to do, like let them jump you on elevators. Like you're in an elevator going up, and like right as the doors open, you get jumped by them. That would be cool. A whole bunch of Gene Stealer Cult ambushes. That way, every time you come across guardsmen, you're like, ah, shit, are these guardsmen or are these Gene Stealer Cult? You know, that would be genius. I don't think you're gonna see Gene Stealer Cult um, in Dark Tide, only because they're smart. If they know that the Inquisition is there, hunting down, you know, a chaos like Nurgle infestation, the GSC is gonna hide because they don't want to draw attention to what they're doing. If anything, they're gonna help the Inquisition fight off the fucking cultist, the Nurgle cultist. And then when the Inquisition leaves, they're gonna fill that power vacuum. So that's the thing. Everyone just looks at the GSC like they're just like random bad guys. Maybe it's because I like them. They're very intelligent and they flip flop whatever they can for the Star Children. So they fight with the Imperium all the damn time. Just the Imperium doesn't know about it. It's kind of like the Alpha Legion, you know. Yeah, that would be my thing to make Space Marine 2 attract all these people again, because it's almost kind of like you'd have to like watch people streaming to figure it out. You know, it wouldn't be in any of the patch notes, that way no one sees it coming until it happens. That would be absolutely awesome. And then once it gets out, you know, then everybody's going to go around and they're going to look at the Imperial Guard and take pictures. So you're going to get a whole bunch of free press and publicity from like TikTok and Twitch and X and YouTube, you know. You could show up where you're using guardsmen. It's like a straight up absolute firefight back and forth, but they both look like Imperial guardsmen. So you're like, do I shoot them all? Do I not? You know, I love my Cadians. Like, do I go up and look in their eyes and see if their eyes are purple or their skin's purple? Like, who do I shoot? You know. And then as you get closer to try and check it out, you get jumped by actual pure strength Gene Stealers. All right, RK. Hey, man, take it easy. I hope everything's all right, and I hope you have a great night and a happy Easter, buddy. I appreciate you making the stream and chatting with us. I look forward to seeing your Soviets soon, man, in Berlin. Yeah, so Stevie Cooper, that's something I've always kind of argued about. I mean, obviously, the worshiping the Star Children is not a good idea, and it goes against the Imperium. But I've always been kind of curious. The Imperium allows certain like abhumans that are useful, you know, like navigators, ogrins, ratlings, and they even allow, you know, the cults of Mars, which believes in a completely separate thing than the Emperor. You know, like if there was ever a disagreement, you know, if they ever thought the Omnissiah was not in league with the Emperor, it'd be straight up civil war, right? So I'm like, look, if you're already letting in other mutants and you're already letting in other cults, why not just like do a temporary alliance with The GSE. Okay, fair. So, yep, fair point. Navigators technically are not humans that are mutants. But that actually just kind of furthers my point, you know, of the GSE being mutants. Alright. Paint these flaps. Then I think I'll do the bed next. See, I've learned the only lore you can really trust, even then you can't really trust it, is I found out it's better to go back and just read the codexes. Because a lot of times people will, like, cite lore to you, and they're like, oh, cool, like, what book is that from? Like, I don't know, I heard on the YouTube channel. You're like, alright. And some of the novels, let's be honest, some of the novels play pretty fast and loose with some shit, you know? So... yeah, White Dwarf was awesome. I haven't read a White Dwarf in years. Yeah, I'm going back and reading, I think I have a 3rd edition, and I have the 4th and 5th edition, because it's like the same book, of the Orc Codex, and, I'm enjoying the lore. It's, for the orcs, it's actually pretty simplistic. It's, like, in a good way, though. It's well done and mostly unfucked with, unlike other people's lore. It's called Codex, trust me, brah. So that is one of my things. Even though I'm a super chill guy, I like rules. So in the modern age, I guess if someone has it on their phone, that's fine as long as they can show it to me, you know. But I've never been a fan of people playing like, oh, it's in this codex. I'm like, well, do you have the codex or do you have the Imperial armor? And they're like, no. And I'm like, ugh. I mean, oh no, evolution. I hear those are terrible to build, man. I hear those are absolutely rough. Good luck, buddy. How was the first one? So where's my brown? Oh, I just put my brush right in my coffee. Damn. Well, that'll help with the brown paint, I guess. It's kind of like adding its own wash. Uh, yeah. What's funny is I actually used one of those Citadel like paint cups. You know, I got it for a good deal and actually really like it. I did it so I wouldn't dip it into my coffee cup, but I did it anyways. I'm not chuckling. I'm glad I made someone laugh. Yeah, I'm with you, Evolution. Even though I'm slowly catching up on my pile of gray, I'm about to head to Warpfire Games on Monday and add to it, unfortunately. I can't wait. I can't wait to raid their bits box. Yeah, I'm kind of glad I'm going with like the wooden bed because I want these to look like converted, you know, civilian transport trucks. There we go. So what do y'all think what do y'all think the hardest bolt action or Conflict 47 kit to build is? Most of the Conflict 47 kits are super easy to build because they're a mix of resin and metal. Like they go together like a snap. Yeah, I'm a fan of AA trucks, HS. I run 3 of them in my Imperial Japanese Army. But you know, this one does have a 50 cal. It's not bad. Yeah, I like that the Opel Blitz trucks from Warlord Games comes up with. You can also make the Maulers, the half track variants. It's really cool. Yeah, for the Imperial Japanese or bolt action, I like the trade-off where you could take a stationary 20 mil AA gun and add on a second barrel for more firepower, or you can keep it a single barrel and throw it on the truck. I got like 12 trucks. I gave 6 of them away, and I kept 6 of them. So I'm using all 6 of the Timu trucks I kept. I gave the other 6 away. I said the scale is perfect. I highly recommend them to anybody. Yeah, I built the Panther. That kit was all right. I can say the Type 97 Chiha instructions, and that kit is super easy. That thing goes together. I built a lot of them now. I think I'm up to maybe 9. I think I've built 9 of them. So, I mean, pretty intuitive. I think so, anyways. But as far as tank kits, it goes together pretty quick for a plastic kit, you know. Oh yeah, especially the modularity, because a lot of them have multi parts. Like I said, imagine a Grizzly. Like you buy a Grizzly, and then it can either come with the parts to build all the variants, or you can just buy the upgrade parts. You know, that would be huge. Or you buy like the other variant and it just comes with the Grizzly in a box plus the upgrades for that particular variant, you know? So if you want like a Bruin, or if you want a Hornet, or, you know. I don't know, see, I always thought like maybe the Tau would be more the Imperial Japanese in space, I guess. Yep, ECI can take Grizzlies. They could also take Tesla Stewards. There you go, yeah, it's kind of like almost more like a cattle truck. I like it. Alright, take it easy, Bad Rabbit. I appreciate you checking in and chatting with us. Sorry about that. I have to keep muting because there's a little exhibition of speed on the roadway nearby. I don't want that loud engines to bleed over. Oh, not bad. We're getting there. Trying to go for like converted cattle truck, rural truck kind of vibes. All right, there we go. I was going to do the back of the body black, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and do it green. Just make it all green for simplicity's sake, then do the tires black, the windows blue, machine gun black. I'll do the grill gray, then do the headlights. I got really slow with the first one because I'm still trying to figure out what I want everything, you know? Once I get that first one knocked out, it's like your standard copy to standard template copy. You know, you start cranking them out. Alright, let me take a sip of my paint flavored coffee now. Mudfang Brown. Delectable. Doing the old pink to yellow trick there. Those headlights after that pink dries. Yeah, I heard you could take those old dreadnoughts and put them in a tube socket. Just swing them around like a melee weapon. Just bludgeon your opponent. Sorry about that, the littlest dog goes off sometimes. I try and like adjust my settings where I can like screen out most noises, you know, like the hum of a refrigerator or like passing car or stuff like that, or like the hum of the computer fan, but no matter what I adjust, I cannot adjust for that dog. He is just loud and shrill, unfortunately. I truly apologize. So the story of this dog was he was rescued just before I deployed, and so I deployed for a long, including my pre-deployment training. which was specialized training for fast and a few other things. I was gone for about 15 months, I want to say. So, is that about right? Yeah, that's about right. Altogether, if you count the training, it was about 15 months. So, even though I came back, you know, and that was over a decade ago, the dog still hasn't gotten used to me because I missed his formative years, you know, or his formative year. So he still like tolerates me. And it's a Chihuahua Corgi mix, so it's a very weird dog. Alright, there's the 50 cow. City fight mech conversions. I am curious. You have my attention, Steven. Yeah, so after I finish this one truck, I'll have 5 more to paint. Then I'll have the 5 Jeeps. I figure the Jeeps are gonna be a little bit quicker. I mean, it'll go slow painting the 2 occupants, but these trucks just have more surface area. Oh, ideas for a city fighting mech conversion. What I would say is netting. I don't know if they figured that one out yet in World War II. Probably. You know, netting to prevent people from throwing down. No, not really, I guess. Actually, what would be good, Steven, is a big wire cutter, kind of like they had on the front of the airborne Jeep on the Jeeps. You know, that way the drivers wouldn't get decapitated by like a barbed wire or telephone wire, just like how helicopters have it too. You know, in case they go into the power lines, that has a little wire cutter thing. So I think like on the front of your walker, like right about where it'd be level with telephone poles or something like that. You know, to have like a wire cutter, that'd be kind of cool. I think another cool thing that might be kind of neat, I don't know, you could talk about whether it's feasible or not, maybe some small arms or like some pistols and holsters, but like put those on the walker's like feet or its legs, kind of. So like if the crew gets out of the walker and they're just kind of hanging out and they get jumped, you know, there's always like a weapon right there they can grab off the walker's like leg. You know, that might be kind of cool. The biggest one I would say for urban warfare, I would say a speaker. You know, kind of like think of Kelly's Heroes, like how they had on Oddball's tank. So I would say a speaker so they can communicate with ground troops, and like spotlights. I'd have multiple spotlights on it. Also, and this might just be the video game nerd in me, maybe I played too much Titanfall 2, but maybe like some barbed wire on top of the mech. Keep people from like jumping on top of it, you know, from buildings, and using anti-tank grenades. Think of it like anti-border spikes. Speaking of Mad Max, you know, put some spikes on top of the walker to deter people from jumping onto it. Especially in the world of Comic 47, where you have, you know, Firefly, Petashuti, Falcon, and Falcone, airborne troops, you know, with jetpacks. Oh yeah. Exactly. Yeah. No rodeo for you. You can, yeah. You look. There's the patented name right there. You can literally call them rodeo spikes, or rodeo wire. You know. Yeah. For urban warfare, I would say speakers, spotlights, rodeo spikes, or rodeo wire on top, and another one is maybe like, this might be easy to make with staples. You can actually just use staples, you know, especially if you get like 2 or 3 in one thing. You could put little like grab handles all over like the top of the mech, or like on the sides of the mech, or on the legs too. You know, that way for like friendly infantry. You know how we have like tank riders? Imagine walker riders. Like one guy kind of like holds on and like keeps a small arm ready to repel infantry. Because same thing, because you can walk in, you know, if there's like an infantry squad, you know, pinned down by like the bank of a village, you know, the Grizzly can walk in, you know, smash the tank, provide cover fire, and all those troops can kind of like fall back and grab onto it. Like if you've seen the movie Sucker Punch, you remember like they basically had a Guardian or a Kodiak light walker, and all the girls grabbed onto it. There was like, oh shit, grab handles, and then it like literally engaged its jump jets, and it was the evac for that team. So that would really be cool. So, you know, rodeo spikes, PA system, spotlights, and possibly grab handles for friendly troops. Titanfall 2 was such a good game. My favorite thing to do is to set my Titan on auto and just like ride on friendly mechs. I played a lot of online co-op on that thing, like the Frontier mode or whatever it was called. That was always a lot of fun. Yeah, so if I'm imagining like my urban walker, like if I had a grizzly fully kitted out, or I wouldn't even use a grizzly in urban warfare, I'd use a hornet. So if you guys haven't seen a hornet, it has like a centrally located autocannon surrounded by 4 heavy machine guns. Yeah, so that thing is absolutely gnarly. I would have like wire cutters on the knees, you know, rodeo spikes on the top, grab handles on the legs, and like a PA system. Spotlight, maybe some extra pintle weapons. Oh yeah, speaking of rodeo spikes, it's actually a really good idea because you got to remember the Nachtjäger. Not just the Schreckwolf, like a Schreckwolf, and I don't think can jump that high up, but the Nachtjäger were literally swooping down, ripping open tank hatches and pulling crew member out. So yeah, I'd absolutely have some rodeo spikes on top to prevent Nachtjäger from getting in there and ripping out your crew. Right. No, I see what you're saying. Yeah, you don't want like sharp spikes where someone will like where like your own guys will hit it, but like taller spikes, you know? So like if anyone tries to jump on top of it, they'd be impaled. So if they're like tall on the spikes, your crew would actually use those spikes to kind of like walk around on top of the grizzly. It's like if you're entering from the side and like climbing up like you're supposed to and walking around, you're perfectly fine. But if you're like jumping onto the grizzly from their roof or from a jetpack or from like your Nachtjäger wings. That would be a cool addition for this new edition of Conflict 47 coming out. If the British could take like Alfred pintle gunners, you know, so on top of your mech, you know, on top of the pintle gun is actually like a full-on Alfred and automaton. That'd be really neat. Yeah, especially I think the Alfred would be even more useful if it was like a rearward facing one. You know, that'd actually be really cool. So yeah, they're going to do the hubcaps just regular gray. The fuel tank's going to be chrome, and then I think the rest of the bed and frame's going to be green, and then the windows blue, and that'll be it. But yeah, walkers were made to be, you know, vertical tanks to be more useful in urban conflict. That's why they don't have that weakness of rear armor facing, you know. But if there's some good urban contact, then yeah, I think a 360-degree weapon system would make sense. If you could have some guys covered in the rear with a medium machine gun at the lightest, that'd be super useful. Because the cool thing is you have the advantage again of the automaton where, you know, on a certain dice roll it may or may not fire, but also it's not affected by horror. So if you're getting bum rushed by, like, you know, Totencore zombies or like Nacht Jaeger, you know, your crew could still be kind of freaking out, but, you know, old Alfred, the Tin Man upstairs, is just letting them have it with the old Vickers. In the lore, you could see like the female sergeant trying to get her crew, you know, in order to stop freaking out about the horror units. Meanwhile, you hear like some robot voice upstairs like laughing and singing "Rule Britannia" while it's like chipping away with a Vickers machine gun, just cutting down zombies. Yeah, does Warlord sell a kit with good... Sorry, does Warlord sell a kit that has like a lot of kilt legs? Yeah, it's not too hard to imagine Grim Tim. Like, there's like a log like in the back, and they're all like kind of like loosely chained. You know, so when the log falls off, you know, it kind of yanks them all off the truck, and they all kind of get up, and at worst, it like rips just one arm off. So now they get up, and they just have one arm, but they're free, and they can just zombie around. Or imagine like a German bomber plane. They're literally just like kind of like a troop transport, just drops off parachute, but it flies like super low, and it literally just like low and slow and just kicks out the zombies. Or actually, take it back. You know what'd be even better? I have it. I have the perfect solution. Gliders. I think there should be glider zombies. I think that's the best way of doing it. Pack a whole bunch of zombies on a glider. You know, have it take off behind a plane. You know, as the glider's going down, it just crashes, and boom, there you go, shit tons of zombies. I mean, that's definitely a good way to knock out an airfield. Have a couple gliders land and zombies just running around everywhere. That's our headlights. So it's fully done. CB Cooper, I haven't put it out yet because I had to upload like an 8-hour long video. So I'm just waiting until I'm actually at my computer long enough to upload that. That'll be uploaded to the second channel. There's a link to here. I'll put a link to it in this chat. Right now, the only thing uploaded is just one of the Fallout Friday podcast I did with a buddy of mine. I'm gonna upload the second one here soon, and then start uploading. I'm gonna upload the full 8-hour thing, and I'm gonna start uploading all the songs. But I'm gonna put them in a playlist, so that way you can grab that playlist and randomize it, and it should work like a radio. Yeah, Steven, I'd love to do a Conflict 47 radio. I'm actually in the works of doing that, of making songs that are very. They're all going to be. The reason why the songs are going to be AI generated for the Conflict 47 radio is a lot of the older songs actually still have copyright on them. And the other thing is I want people to be able to use them for when they live stream bolt action Conflict 47 games, you know? So. I'll do a Conflict 47 radio, that would be awesome. I might be able to use a lot of the AI songs that I'm writing for the Fallout thing as well. I know a lot of people are against the AI thing. I get it, but you know, there's not a lot of other ways to create a lot of copyright-free material. And I don't mind using AI on this channel, mostly because I don't profit. So it's not like I'm taking money away from anybody because there's no money generated. Other than, you know, whatever YouTube runs ads on, but again, they're also providing the bandwidth for me to live stream, so that's kind of a fair trade. Yeah, CB Cooper, I'll take a look. If you've accepted my friend request on Discord, I'll shoot you a sample of the YouTube radio of like a couple songs with like a DJ interject into it, and you can let me know what you think. I saw the accepted thing too. But yeah, a lot of moving parts, a lot of projects in the works. So I'm gonna finish these windows, then I'll probably call it a stream. It's been a good one. I said I've been. I don't think I'd be very good at voice acting, Francois. I've kind of looked at it. I don't know if that's my realm. I could try. I think I have a too unique of a voice to do voice acting, if that makes sense. And I have too many weird pronunciation habits, you know? I think voice actors are highly skilled, highly talented individuals, and I don't think that's something that's currently in my wheelhouse. Other than, obviously, my little DJ guy that I did, but I think that's probably the extent of my voice acting. There we go. 2 front windows. We get the side windows, and then we'll call it a day. Well, I appreciate this, Steven, but yeah, that's what I did with the Johnny Bottlecaps character. So it's so funny. I created this character just from scratch, just coming up with an idea because I like the tunnel snakes and stuff like that. So I ended up playing as the character when I did my playthrough of Fallout Tactics. I actually made that character in the game. I should do like a New Vegas playthrough with Johnny Bottlecaps. I think it'd be funny. That type of character. It's pretty funny. He's a high charisma, decent small arms, low intelligence, low agility because he got his knee punctured by a rad scorpion. So he's kind of crippled now. Yeah, it was kind of a fun build. This is what I'm using for the Windows, just Tipple Guard Blue. I've had it for a long time. It does Windows decently for me. So. I haven't had a lot of time to sit down and like work on a lot of the YouTube videos I have in the queue for editing. Been busy a lot over time, other jobs, creating PowerPoints and briefs and stuff like that. So I wear a lot of hats. I try and do this YouTube thing for fun. So that's why a lot of times my videos are super far behind, but I put them out when I can. But I always try and make it to the streams, because it's kind of like our hangout time. It allows me to kind of catch up and enjoy my hobby, tackle my gray. Well, on top of Comic 47 radio, one thing I'd really like, if you're familiar with Gaslands, to do Gasland radio. That would be really neat. Alright, so still a long way to go, but you can see a little bit of progress. I kind of turning these green plastic trucks into, it's very rough. I still have a lot of things to fix, but a lot more to do. But we're turning them into trucks, slowly but surely. Alright, let's take a final look at the pull. Yeah, because I try and keep things like copacetic. I try and keep just this Tiki the Hut channel for Bolt Action Comic 47. That way, because I know I did some Warhammer 40k stuff, I just really want to paint those orcs. So from now on, if I try and do those, I'll try and keep it on like on a separate stream. I'll do like apparently some people are interested, I'll do like a Mad Max Monday kind of thing. So I'll do a lot of post-apocalyptic stuff. I'll be working on my Fallout stuff, or maybe some Zona Alpha stuff, or Gaslands, or my my orcs, with trucks instead of trucks, But yeah, we had some more money raised from the merch shop for the Clash of the Caribbean, which is pretty cool. Like I see, we already have 4 people locked in out of the 6 people needed for the event, so that's really exciting. Like, if need be, I can fill in as a 5th. That's not a big deal. But super exciting. I honestly didn't think anybody would sign up, so that's 4 more than I thought, so I'm super stoked for that. It's October 15th to the 17th, so pretty excited. I'll put out a bigger post on YouTube with a lot more of the information. And then I'll probably throw up a website for it so people can go there and get a lot of more of the info. But other than that, man, not a bad stream. A little bit more of a quiet. Hopefully, it wasn't too subdued. You know, I had a lot of stories yesterday, but today I was just kind of a long day at work, so I just want to try and get chipping away at some of these trucks and figure out kind of what I want them to look like. Like I said, I want it to look military, but I also want it to look converted. So I said once I fix that tan in the front and get green back there, I'll just like freehand a white star or get Mrs. Tiki to do it. And I think it'll work pretty well. But like I said, I always appreciate you guys swinging by, chatting. I know everybody's working on different stuff. We had people working on everything from Soviets to, you know, I think somebody else said they were working on some kind of 40K models, which is pretty cool. Someone was building a that German armored car. Oof, bless you, that had to be tough. And yeah, I think for those of you who celebrate it, happy Easter. For those of you who celebrate it, happy 420 or whatever day tomorrow is for you guys. Oh yes, real quick, Steven. Yeah, I have. They're a little big. Because they're 32 millimeter. So, I mean, you might be able to use. I think you'd be able to get away with using power armor like T-54s and stuff like that as American heavy infantry, but price-wise, they're about the same, so you're not really saving much there, unless you 3D print them, of course. But with that being said, for this, you guys going to sleep, you know, I hope you sleep well. I hope the Easter Bunny doesn't wake you up, you know, by putting an egg or a claymore, you know, anywhere in your yard. For this, you guys headed off to work. I hope you have a great day at work. Hope you don't get any crazy holiday shenanigans going on. And as always, I hope you guys stay safe, stay hydrated, don't forget to relax today, because you're on Tiki time.
Shipwrecked soldiers on Moto sand, Type 30 rifles in hand, hula gals with sunburned smiles, no war drums, just beach for miles. Ghost park by Tiki lights, shadows dance in tropic nights, sand beneath where boots once stood, paradise ain't so misunderstood. Lost in waves and hula tunes, tiki drinks and months of moons, forgot the fight in distant lands, just surf and play with tired hands. Bunkers built from palm and hope, coconuts and crude soap, imperial dreams fade in sun, warriors turn beach bums. Shine to ocean gods we raise, praying for forgotten days, sake in the campfire glow, life's a surfboard ebb and flow. Lost in waves and hula tunes, tiki drinks and months of moons, forgot the fight in distant lands, just surf and play with tired hands. And hula tunes, tiki drinks and months of moons, forgot the fight in distant lands, just surf and play with tired hands.